If you want to learn more about Insight and how to use Insight for data exploration, you can refer to the practical videos this week, in which I explore other data sets and I show several features that Insight has, such as, for example, how to color things differently, how to arrange graphics differently, and so on and so forth. But there is a particular feature that I didn't cover in those videos because it was not in the program when I recorded them. It was recently included in the software, which is the ability to design maps, all right, in Insight itself. So I'm going to show you how that works very quickly over here. So I'm going to upload a different data set. I'm going to go to the File menu, Import Data Set, and I'm going to import a data set from Gapminder, which is one of the sources that I mentioned on week number 1. I'm going to import the data set called Gapminder 2012, which is data set from country by country about different kinds of features of those countries, such as obesity rates, child mortality, and so on and so forth. I'm going to open that file, and once I have done that, I'm going to go to Insight, to the upper menu where it says Advanced, because all the new modules that are incorporated to Insight, little by little, as the developers have time to create them, they are usually placed on the advanced menu item. So down here you will see that it says Maps, and this is how it works. Once you have the data set uploaded and you go to the maps, first of all you need to select the variables, and there are two options over here. You can either use coordinates. So for instance, if you had city level data, your data set should include the longitude and latitude of the center points of these cities if you want to visualize it on the map. In this case, in the data set that I'm using, I don't have longitudes and latitudes. What I have is regions. I have regions of the world, right? Therefore, I'm going to go here to regions. And next, Insight will ask you, what is the map location? The map location in my case is the world. This is worldwide data, so I'm not going to change that. But I need to tell it what the location variable is. In my case, the location variable is country. There is a column in the dataset called country, and that includes all the country names. So I'm going to select country. And then I need to tell it which variable I want to plot. So I'm going to open up this menu, and over here, as it happened before, what we have is all the column headers, all the column names. So we have number of cell phones per person, CO2 emissions, GDP per capita, infant mortality, life expectancy, and so on and so forth. Let's display, for example, children per woman, which is the fertility rate. The average number of children per woman on each one of these countries, from 0 children per woman, although there's no country with a fertility rate of 0, it's probably 0.5, and the maximum value I believe is like 7 or 8 children per woman in the poorest countries in the world. Let's display this data set on a map. If I click on children per woman, automatically Insight will generate a map of the world that will be color coded according to the number of children per woman. The redder the color, the larger the number of children per woman. As you can see, the countries that have a larger number of children per woman, a larger fertility rate, are mostly in Africa, with the exception of Afghanistan. Afghanistan also has a very high fertility rate. Now, there are many features that you can change on a map, and I cover how to change the style of charts in the practical videos that you can also watch. But if you want to change the style of a map, you can just click on more options, and over here you have an option, for example, to change the color palette. If you don't want to use reds, because red is a very aggressive color, perhaps we can use blues, for example, which is a calmer color for these kinds of data sets. And then, as it happens with any other kind of chart or map designed with Insight, you can download this map over here. You can just select the format that you want, PDF, for example. You can save the map, and then once you have saved it, you can bring that map up into other software tools such as Photoshop or Illustrator or Inkscape to do some further styling. Thank you for completing week 2. I hope that you have learned a lot about how to explore data using visualization. Now we move on to week 3, in which I will teach you how to use these tools and these techniques to communicate with audiences.